In China, a young man may already have a house in his hometown, but when he wants to work, get married, and raise children in a city, that house may no longer solve his real problems. The better jobs are in the city. The schools may be in the country or city. The hospitals are usually better there. And in some traditional families, if a man wants to get married, the woman's parents may ask, does he have a home? Where will the couple live after marriage? What happens when they have a child? So, why does one apartment carry so much meaning in China? Today, I want to explain why buying a home is not only about property. It can affect marriage, children, education, healthy care, parents, and the future of the whole family.
For many young Chinese people, the pressure to buy a home becomes strongest when they start talking about getting married.
When you are single, renting may feel completely fine, but once marriage becomes real, the questions change. Where will the couple live? Will they rent for many years? Who will pay the down payment? Who will pay the mortgage? Will the parents help? Whose name will be on the property? In some traditional families, the man is expected to prepare a home before marriage. This does not mean every Chinese family thinks the same way, but in many places, having a home is still seen as proof that the man and his family are ready for marriage. Without a home, the woman's parents may worry not only about money, they may worry about whether their daughter will have a stable place to live, whether the couple is really prepared for the family life, and what will happen after they have children. So, in many Chinese families, buying a home is not what happens after marriage. It may be one of the things that makes the marriage easier to happen. In some rural areas of China, this pressure can be even more direct. There are many older unmarried men who struggle to find a wife partly because they do not have a house of their own. For some families, if a man cannot provide a home, the woman's family may simply be unwilling to let their daughter marry into that situation.
Before having a baby, a home may be the place that you sleep at night. But after having a baby, the questions become more practical.
Is the home big enough? Is it safe? Can the grandparents stay here when they help with the baby? Is there a hospital nearby? Is there a school nearby? Can the family stay here for several years? Moving house is much easier when you are young and single. But with a baby, every move means clothes, toys, milk bottles, furniture, and a completely new daily routine. This is when many people started to understand why their parents care so much about stability. It's not only about owning a home, it's about knowing where the family will live next year and the year after that.
Another important reason is education. In China, public schools usually admit students according to the local school zones.
This means where a family lives can affect which public school their child may apply to. In many places, parents may need to show a local household registration, a property certificate, proof of residence, or other documents. This is why China has a special term, school district housing. It usually means a home located inside the admissioned area of a popular public school. Some parents do not buy this home because they love the apartment. The apartment may be old, it may be small, it may even be more expensive than a newer home nearby. But the parents believe that living there may give their child a better chance to enter a better public school. Of course, the rules are different in every city. Buying a home near a school does not always guarantee admission to that exact school. Some cities use multiple school zoning, computer allocation, or other admission rules. But housing and education are still closely connected in many families' decisions. This creates a very strong pressure. Parents may begin thinking about a home several years before the child started school. They may ask, which school zone is this apartment in? Does the property address matches the child's household registration? Has the school place connected to this home already been used? Can this child stay in this area for primary and middle school? For some families, they are not only choosing an apartment, they are choosing what they believe could be a better education path for their child. This is also why some rural families move to a town or a country city. In some rural areas, smaller schools may have closed or merged into larger schools. More teachers and education resources may be concentrated in town or county schools. At first, the parents may rent a small apartment near the school, but if the child needs to study there for many years, the family may start thinking about buying. Healthy care creates a similar question. Basic medical care may be available in this village, but for more serious treatment, specialist care, or better hospitals, families often need to go to a county city or a larger city. So even if a family already owns a larger house in the village, they may still buying a smaller apartment in town. The village house gives them space, but the town apartment gives them access to school, healthy care, work, and daily convenience. This is a very important point. Many Chinese families are not buying another home because they have nowhere to live. They are buying a place close to the resources their family now depends on.
This is something many foreigners may find it difficult to understand. A family may already have a big house in the village.
So why do they still borrow money to buy a smaller apartment in the city? Because the village house and the city apartment solve different problems. The village house may belong to this family. It may be larger, it may carry childhood memories and family roots, but may be far from work, far from the child's school, far from better hospitals. And in many rural areas, building a new home is not something a family can simply decide by itself. It depends on land rights, village planning, approval, and whether the person still qualifies for rural homestead land. So the family may have a house in their hometown, but still need another place in the city where their present life can continue. The old house represents where the family came from. The city apartments represent where the family is trying to build its future.
In China, buying a house may not only a decision made by only one young couple, it may become the financial project for the whole family.
Parents may save money for many years. They may help with the down payment. They may help with renovation. Sometimes both families contribute. For the parents, this may feel like part of their responsibilities. They want their child to get married. They want that new family to have a stable place. They want their future grandchild to have a better start. But this help also creates pressure. Parents may use money they save for retirement. Young people may feel they cannot refuse. And one apartment may connect the finances of two generations and two families. So buying a home can bring a family together. But it can also create new arguments about money, ownership, responsibility, and fairness.
House prices may become much easier to understand when we compare them with income.
In 2025, the average annual wage for employees in China's urban private sector workplaces was around 71,600 RMB. But an average does not mean that everyone earns this amount. Many people working in smaller cities, factories, shops, restaurants, and service jobs may earn around 4,000 to 6,000 RMB per month. Now, let's look at what buying a home might mean in three different places. First, imagine a normal apartment in a county city costing around 600,000 RMB. This equal to more than 8 years of the average private sector worker's gross salary. And that calculation assumes that the person spends nothing at all. No food, no rent, no transport, no childcare, no support for parents. Of course, nobody can save every yuan they earn. So in real life, even a 600,000 RMB apartment may require the savings of both partners, help from their parents, and a mortgage lasting 20 or 30 years. Now, let's look at Huadu, the district of Guangzhou where I live. In some parts of Huadu, an apartment may cost around 20,000 RMB per square meter. 90 square meter home would cost around 1.8 million RMB. With a 15% down payment, the family would first need about 270,000 RMB, then need to borrow around 1.53 million RMB. Using a 30-year mortgage with an example interest rate of around 3.1%. The monthly payment would be approximately 6,500 RMB. If a couple earns 16,000 RMB together each month, more than 40% of their combined income would go directly to the mortgage. And that is before paying for food, childcare, transport, insurance, healthy care, and support for elderly parents. Then, let's move closer to the central areas of Guangzhou. If the price is around 30,000 RMB per square meter, a 90 square meters apartment would cost at least 2.7 million RMB. Then 15% down payment alone would be around 405,000 RMB. The family would still need a mortgage of about 2.295 million RMB. Using the same example mortgage, the monthly payment would be around 9,800 RMB. If the couple earns 20,000 RMB together each month, almost half of their income would go to the mortgage. And 30,000 RMB per square meter is only a starting example. In some parts of Guangzhou, housing prices can be much higher. So when we say that buying a home is difficult in China, the pressure is not the same area. In a county city, buying a home may be difficult, but still possible for a couple with two incomes and some help from their parents. In Huadu, the family may need a larger down payment, two stable salaries, and many years of careful spending. In the more central parts of Guangzhou, even two full-time incomes may not be enough without significant help from the previous generation. This is why buying a home in China often becomes a two-generation project. The young couple pays the monthly mortgage. The parents help with the down payment. Sometimes even the grandparents contribute part of their savings. A family may combine money saved over 10 or 20 years just to buy the first home. But there is another important point. A 30-year mortgage does not always mean that the family will take exactly 30 years to repay it. Some people will pay the loan earlier when their income increases. Some sell their apartment and move to another home. Some contribute to receive help from their parents. But when they sign the mortgage contract, they are accepting a financial responsibility that could last through most of their working life. A couple may buy the apartment before having a child. They may still be paying the mortgage when the child starts primary school. They may still be paying when the child enters university. So, in some cases, they may not finish paying until they themselves are approaching retirement. So when a Chinese family talks about buying a home, they are not only talking about the price of an apartment today, they are deciding how a large part of the family's income will be used over the next 20 or 30 years. The real question is not only can we afford this home now, it's also how much of our future are we willing to give to it.
So, why do Chinese people care so much about buying a home? It's not only because they like property. I'm curious about your country. When young people get married, are they expected to already have a house or an apartment? Do their parents usually help with their adult children with the down payment? Leave a message and tell me in the comment. See you next time. Bye bye.